Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. This is Ann with Iron Sharpens Iron Council, a channel, Lord have mercy, a ministry dedicated to uplift humanity. I'll get that one day. But I will commit that to memory one day. A community, a ministry dedicated to uplift humanity. So simple, but I just always have to read it. So today we have Trey and Evelyn here to discuss Evelyn's case and the fact that Trey was very instrumental in helping, Evelyn, this mom, fighting this case to start to understand the legal system and break through, the foreign language known as legalese. So I will.
Oh, did we lose her?
Yeah, something went wrong. Your feed broke off. Uh-oh. Big Brother doesn't want us putting this one out.
Oh, okay. Yes. There you go. It was frozen for a second. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Trey.
Okay, so where do I begin? So I met Evelyn through chatting, found out that she had been invaded by the Child Protective Services. And during that time, really most parents, they don't know what's going on. Why is this happening? I think that most parents think, it's under control. You're going to find out I'm okay and everything's going to be good. So in Evelyn's case, she has the CPS agents, obviously, that did an investigation in the hospital. And then she has the guardian ad litem, and the guardian ad litem is appointed specifically to the children. But the court also appointed Evelyn a public defender, in a sense, an appointed attorney by the court. So, but her thinking in the beginning, what was it, like 6 months or so in, she's thinking that these people were supposed to be defending her zealously, protecting her children legally. And then all of a sudden she says, well, something's wrong because nobody's doing anything here. Yeah. So that's kind of how we got involved, and I'll let her explain more about that and kind of what she was feeling in the beginnings before we met, so that she can kind of give you an overview of what it's like to be a parent who gets bombarded with all this legal mumbo jumbo, this legal talk, these papers. And go ahead, Evelyn, you kind of take it from here and let people know what you went through.
Yes, well, in the beginning, it was, of course, a total shock at first, and I by the time I wrapped my head around the whole thing, like Ms. Tracy said, it was just overwhelming, to say the least, for just a regular person like myself, even to understand the wording that they were saying, but to understand that something wasn't right. So I ended up doing a lot of the footwork and a lot of the discoveries and stuff on my own, and everything that they were saying and what I had in front of my face just wasn't adding up. So I just thank God for Miss Tracy helping me just to realize that I'm not crazy. And I think that was the best for anything, was just to realize that it's not. I really thought I was mental at first, but I didn't really know, because I've never been involved in anything like this before. So I didn't know that it was such a big issue. And I've asked Miss Tracy, I know 2 or 3 times, is this really as big of an issue as they're saying, or as you're saying? Because I was really shocked, because I never thought that people that we were brought up in society to believe that they have our best interests or are going to do good really do not. And it was heartbreaking, but it was shocking, and I just can't express how much Miss Tracy has helped me just in my mindset to know that I'm not crazy. And I think that's the hardest thing for parents that get involved in things like this to wrap their head around, is you're not crazy and you're not alone. So it does help tremendously.
Well, I'm very happy that you're here and willing to share, because what you experience is, sadly, the typical experience. You get into the courtroom setting and you're lost and confused, and you believe that telling the truth is going to prevail. You believe that the truth is going to bring you that justice, and oftentimes you just get slammed, and before you know it, you're overwhelmed. And so I wanted you to talk about how TRE have brought you from that state of confusion and dismay and overwhelm to where you are now in terms of your understanding, and fighting back and starting to turn the tables now on the oppressors.
Yeah, and I want to say something real quick. So Evelyn is not your average parent involved in the system. She has picked up and learned so much so quickly. It was like instantaneous wake-up call. Like, wait, okay, so now we get to the point where she understands she's not losing her mind and that something's not right with them and it ain't her. It's been a fast forward movement for her in an amazing way. Like, this girl goes out and gets the evidence, okay? She doesn't just sit there waiting for something to happen, and parents can't do that. You can't sit around waiting. You gotta go get it. She pulled her medical records. She did her own research. She pulled the records from everyone, analyzed them with her own eye to say, hold on, something's wrong. So understand that this particular case begins with a medical kidnap issue. And then it kind of unfolds where they end up taking all of the kids because of the accusation in the hospital. But because of Evelyn's investigative skills here, we were able to pull the contracts for the hospital and uncover all kinds of dirt, and something that we hope will help other parents, especially the ones that are dealing with medical kidnap, because you're going to find that the hospital is very deeply involved in assisting on these kinds of kidnappings. And we'll get into that later. But Evelyn now, she came in knowing basically nothing, but now she understands that there's a difference between what a mother is and a parent is, and who under the statute is actually applying this particular type of protection to. So I'll let her get into that, how she learned that. But go ahead, Evelyn, you can kind of share how you've grown.
I think the most helpful and the most thing that really has helped me with is Miss Tracy. It opened up my eyes to actually, like I said, know that I'm not crazy and give me a backbone. It has given me the will, the want to fight. I'm not afraid to fight. I'm not afraid to go forward. Because I love my children, and I told Miss Tracy from the beginning. Look, when I had the first 6 months when they removed my daughter, she was 2 weeks old on November the 15th, and they removed her from my sister's care because I unknowingly, until I met Miss Tracy, had signed an IPA agreement only for 5 days though, for my baby to leave the hospital, because I was told that if I didn't find someone to bring her home, that they would take her right then. I think we were 5 days old at that time. And so, of course, I was just, all we want at that time is we want our babies to come home. And that's all we can think about is, I just want my babies home. And so I did. And it just kept going from there. And when you meet people in that court system or in that whole system, in that realm of people, they're going to tell you, oh, just do what they tell you to do. Oh, just, if you do everything they tell you to do, you'll get your baby back or you'll get your kids back. And that's not true. And I told the people, I went to the classes, I went to the meetings, I did everything that they asked me to do. I continued to work, and I still had my 3 older children remaining in my home during this whole time. And they've always been in school. They've always been on honor roll. They've been in sports, academic achievements, socially, have friends, and never had any problems, nothing. And I've been a single mom the whole time. My oldest son is 15 years old this year, and my middle son will be 13, and my baby boy will be 8. No, I'm sorry, he'll be 9. And then my baby girl now this year, October, she'll be 1. So it's been 9 months now going through this whole thing, and it is frustrating, it is draining, it's overwhelming. And Miss Tracy has been a blessing, gives me time to wallow in my in my sorrows for a minute, and then she's like, all right, you got to pick it back up now, we got to go. And I understand, and so I understand parents that feel like it's no end, but for me, without my children, I have nothing else. I have no reason to have this house or have a nice car. Or I don't have. If I don't have them, I don't have anything. It's not worth nothing to me. I sit here all day in this house by myself, and it's the hardest thing I've ever done.
And I'm so proud of you. I've been, getting, updates from time to time, and I have heard your evolution from the time that you started in with getting the training, from TRE, and to where you are now. I just can't be more proud of who you are, and just the fact that you're not quitting. See, what you discovered is what a lot of parents have discovered is that, that blind obedience to doing everything that they ask you to do, it's still not going to be enough because they have a hidden agenda, right? And so regardless of what you do and you comply and you give them everything that they say that they want from you, you're still not going to win any favors with them. They're still going to be conspiring against you behind closed doors. And so that's what you discovered. And so I'm just so, I tell you, I'm so happy to hear that you are, you're wide awake, number one, and number two, you're not going to stop fighting for your children. That's a powerful message that you're sending to other moms, other dads, other families. Never quit, because that's what they expect you to do. They want you to quit. They want to deplete all of your resources and your time, and they want you to think that you're crazy. They want you to think that there's something wrong with you. So I'm just so happy, and I'm very honored to have you here on the show with us, because you're giving people hope. You're giving so many people hope. So thank you for that, Evelyn. I really appreciate that.
Thank you. Miss Tracy is the one that gives me so much hope, and like I said, I never would have known. It was, to be honest, I think me and Miss Tracy's known each other now maybe 3 months.
Yeah, if that. I'm not even sure.
Wow.
Maybe
You've come a long way. Wow.
I think it's only 2 months, babe.
Yeah, maybe 2 months.
Feels like an eternity.
It does, but that was the thing. I finished my permanency plan. I finished the classes. I finished the even though I had not been a trial at that point yet. I had not seen the judge yet. I finished my classes. I finished everything they wanted me to do. I finished it. And when it come time for that time, then the place that they actually referred me to, not the discharge forms or from that place, and then so that they added out. Then I was non-compliant, and so now they added a mental, because now I'm not crazy, and I know I'm not crazy when I start asking simple questions. Now I need a mental assessment, and now they removed, after 6 months, now they removed my older 3 children. So now they've been gone almost 2.5 months now. And after that, I have no other reason to comply. At first, they got me to comply. We're leaving my other kids in the home. If I do this and this, they can stay. But I still
Evelyn, why don't you share? So I joined Evelyn in an emergency meeting where they had her 15-year-old son removed from his brothers and sister and put into a foster facility. This is when I drove my butt over there to go and listen in to see what is really going on and to figure out and uncover what are they trying to pull here. So at that meeting, and I'll let Evelyn explain, they said there was no other services she was required. I'm a witness. I was there. Okay. They said that I asked them specifically, when does this come to an end? What other services does she have to complete in order to be compliant to the point where you guys are willing to reunify the family in accordance with your purpose? So what else is left that she can do? Which other hoops can she jump through? And Evelyn, go ahead. What did they say?
They said there was nothing, really. They admitted that there was no signs or any indications of harm or danger, not up until this point, and even in the past. There was no records, no anything. Like I said, my children are all in school. They have no medical history of nothing wrong with them. They have no mental history of anything being wrong with them. No behavioral issues. We were fine. We were great up until all this happened. And to
Right.
see my son being his name, even at that age, being dragged through the mud, want to say, to that level, it was heartbreaking for me, but it infuriated me, and it just broke my heart. But I think that his pain is what really is, and my children's pain altogether is what really makes me keep wanting to going forward, because I could never sleep at night knowing that I let one day go by without doing something for them, to find something productive for them to know that our mama's coming. And I tell them every time I get to talk to them, every day, if I have to get on a video game and sneak to talk to them, I'll join in that Fortnite and they're playing, and I'll join in on the game just as somebody, as a child, just to talk to my babies, because they don't let me talk to them. I'll play the game with them.
So as
Our mama's coming. The one thing you don't have to worry about, baby, no matter what nobody tell you, is mama's coming. Don't worry, I'm coming. I don't know when, but you coming home. But I know it.
That's right. And to just kind of summarize the situation, they started with taking your baby girl at 2 weeks old, and then because this mom here fighting for her baby, they started to retaliate, and then now started taking the older children, and now the older children are gone, and so now they started to block you, from what I understand, right? They started to block your paperwork from being filed. Is that right?
Yes, when we tried to file back in May, back in, it was March, close to April, before I met Miss Tracy, where I was just doing, like she said, my own little research, and I found out, and I was reading this rules and stuff online that was overwhelming by themselves, but I could understand. I knew something. I could do something. And I ended up trying to use the court-appointed attorney or legal advisor, or whatever. What I thought was an attorney, my attorney,
Mm-hmm.
to file paperwork on my behalf or to file something. And he would never file. He would never file anything. He stopped me from going to file my own, just about his advice, and me not, putting my trust in that type of person. What I thought that he represented and was representing me and my children, I listened, and time passed. And finally, Miss Tracy got me, and I opened my eyes, and I went down there and I tried to file myself. And what I discovered was not only myself, but my children's grandmother from Mississippi had already come to the same place to try to file, and they sent her. I've never knew before, because I've never been involved in the courts before, but they have 2 separate filing places. And they send everyone, they want everyone to go upstairs and file their papers with the clerks upstairs. Well, upstairs is what they call the judicial clerks, which are the DCS filing clerks. They are working for DCS. And they want me to go file my papers, and my children's grandmothers to go file their papers with DCS, with the opposition. And of course, why would you want the opposition to see your paperwork? So, and downstairs clerk is the court clerk, actually. So it took me 3 days to file an emergency petition for the court clerk to tell me that it would not be heard as an emergency petition. And from my understanding, she left.
Go ahead, keep talking, because she'll come back.
From my understanding that, they weren't allowed to do that. But it was weeks later, almost a week later, before it would be heard, and it still wasn't heard. So they, once again, have prevented from being heard, or I guess, making the record. I'm not sure if it even really went on the record.
Right. You didn't even know what the record was at first until we started talking. So that's something I think we should talk about a little bit for parents out there, is that there is a record that needs to be made by the parent. And these appointed attorneys in this particular state and county, I don't know if this is going to be universal, but actually Evelyn found that these appointed attorneys don't have a fiduciary duty of care to the parent. They're literally appointed for no reason. Like, they're just appointed to show the record that they're there, but they have, what did it say, Evelyn? You read the rule. What did it say about the appointed attorney?
That the attorney would be there as a legal advisor, but there would be no attorney privilege.
No attorney-client privilege for the appointed attorney in this court means that attorney, not only does he not represent you, but he has no duty of care. So even if he screws up your case, you can't even complain about it. That's what the appointed attorney is defined as under their statute, their code, their rule. So that was a big shocker, but further things along, now you have this difficulty in filing stuff. So she goes ahead and she files 3 days in, and the court then happens, what was it, like a week later, right? So they decided to have a hearing a week later. The clerk told her she would not be filing this case, but that she'd put it in her jacket. So Evelyn had no idea whether or not they were going to hear on her case. And so now, 2 days later, Evelyn is in a meeting with her so-called appointed attorney, and he explains to Evelyn that, oh, well, they are in fact going to hear your case on Friday. And on Friday, they'll listen to your petition. However, the CPS agents have filed a motion for a no contact order so that you can't see your kids anymore.
Okay.
All right.
I'm having, this always happens, whenever we touch on revealing some very, very interesting information, I always have technical difficulties. Any other interview goes smoothly, and so it's you know, not a conspiracy theorist here, but they don't like us getting too close to the truth and revealing some things. So we're going to have to, you know, summarize so that we can close this one out and then start over, because my computer just went black.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Completely. I had to sign back in, and I was like, oh, okay, you guys are still here, and it says that it's still recording, but that has never happened before. Remember,
yeah, I wasn't sure if you should go or stop. I was like, wow.
Look,
yeah, it was gone.
Tracy are on the phone. We have phone problems, and it's really scary. I think her screen messed up again. It's froze up, huh? But
Yep.
it's really scary because that's really weird.
Yeah, every time we're getting into good conversation about what you need to learn and do, it's always that way. And now we're having this issue. And me and Ann have done 2 videos and never had this issue.
Yeah, they don't like us exposing them. Exposing them hurts their bottom line, so they don't like that. So let's just wrap up with a quick summary of you know, like in 30 seconds where you are, you know, where you are now, and then I'll just do the closeout, and then we'll pick up a new video. We'll start a new session.
Okay.
All right. So basically, I was just saying about her case. After they pretended to file it, and that they said she was going to be heard on Friday. And then we'll start from there, what happened on Friday when she got into the courtroom, because I coached her on what they were going to say. I coached her on what they were going to do, how they were going to behave.
Mind blowing, I tell you, it blew my mind.
Okay.
That much more hope. It gave me that much more of a backbone. So I'm hopeful.
Yes, and I want people to hear more about your evolution, but let's close out here. Guys, this is going to be the case of the century, I promise you, because it's going to empower so many people, and that's why I'm smiling. I got a big smile on my face because I'm so happy that she's winning. They thought that they had her corner, but she is winning, and she's going to get her children back, and it's looking good. So real quick, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. because that's how we grow literally. And please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss an upload. Until the next time, which will be in a few minutes, until the next time, be safe, everybody. Peace, bliss, and positive vibes only in the comments. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.